Good morning, guys. It's 6 o'clock in Rampur, all decked up. Yep. Time to leave for our next destination, that's Tabo. It's going to be much more colder than this because from now on we'll be gaining altitude towards Spiti. So, yeah. And today especially is a long day. Like we're traveling, I think, close to 9 hours. All day long is just going to be like...
It was so hard to get up that morning, but surprisingly none of us were late because we were looking forward to the day. Slowly we started to gain altitude as we entered Kannauр and left Shimla behind. First half of the day, everyone was to themselves. Lost in their own thoughts, sitting by the window and awestruck by the views passing by outside. Look at the scale! Places like these will only be in Himachal. Legit. Everyone is going crazy. Now, if you have heard of Spiti, then you might be aware of how risky roads are because of the never-ending construction. Surprisingly, most of it is already done, but we did encounter a few rough patches. And surely that added a bit of adrenaline rush to our journey. The first time I've been to this region and it's so new to me. I mean, just look at the scale of it. That's our traveler. Huge ass mountains. That's the road we just took. As we're gaining altitude, what I can witness literally at once is there's no sign of greenery around. It's just getting dry as we move. Not a single tree I can spot, which is very weird. Whew. What a vibe. Not a single tree around. Oh damn, this section was epic. So from this point onwards, roads were butter. Like we had a gala time cruising through the valley to our next stop, Naku. After about 6 hours of riding in bus, we finally came to a halt where we could stretch and explore a bit. After having lunch, sab thake hare, we headed straight towards Naku town to see its famous frozen lake. On the way, we crossed the entire village of Naku and were spellbound by its rawness. At least for me, it was the first time seeing a whole freaking house just made up of mud and stones. I could only imagine how cold it might get during bleak winters. And finally, at the end of the maze, we were treated with the frozen lake itself. What a beauty. Check this out. Incredible. Good morning, guys. Checking in from Tabo. It's a small town where we rested for the night before heading to Gaza. So, kal bhi it was mostly traveling. One of the key highlights from yesterday's trip was Naku Lake, which was completely frozen. And yeah, it's quite interesting. Tabo took around 2 hours or so to reach. And we will be starting now again. बहुत ही बहुत ही cozy homestay है. We got electric blankets and a proper tandoor, a common area where we had dinner. It was like mint. मतलब, I mean, to be frank, I wasn't expecting such a easy trip. Maybe things will get harsh from Cabo onwards. Yeah, let's see how it turns out to be. But this is the town. There is, I think, the oldest monastery in this region. We will be going now and checking it out. This is one of the most ancient monastery in this region. It was established during early times when Buddhism was being established for the first time in Lahaul and Spiti region. It's more than a century old. How do I put it? It's like an Egyptian pharaoh, version of Buddhist archives. We saw wall paintings which has been painted like a century ago, and the paint is still intact. There's this whole story of Buddha on the walls, 32 bodhisattvas. They're proper idols, murtis made up of clay, and obviously photography is not allowed inside, or else I would have documented it as well. But what a monastery, matlab, gave me chills, like literally. It was so ancient, like I could feel their spirits and souls in that room. Highly recommend checking it out. Tabo Monastery, built in 1996, not 19996. And stuff. Yeah, heading back to the road. Next stop is Pin Valley, and then from Pin Valley to Kaza. That's the plan. Gaadi over ready, I think.
Feel it now every time I leave. It hits me hard and it cuts me deep.
Took a quick stop at this bridge. What you see behind is a crazy frozen waterfall. Check this out.
It's far reach from you to me.
कुछ videos and photos तो बनते हैं, at this spot. So yeah.
After about 2 nights and 3 days, we finally entered Spiti Valley. Frankly, all of us lost our chills. A couple of turns from the main road to Kaza led us deep inside Pin Valley National Park. It felt like within minutes we got teleported from a dry, deserted valley to a valley straight out of fairy tale books. By now, all of us were losing our minds by seeing what was in front of us. We just stood there, jaw-dropped by the beauty of this place. Constantly battling between thoughts because our heads were at two places. One, it's too cold, I can't bear it anymore.
It's hard to stand against the wind.
And second, this moment is it. I don't know when I'll be back here again to experience this.
I think this is way out of control. Moving up.
At that moment, I realized that this pain is temporary. But if I turn back, then the regret will last forever. So I pushed as much as I could and took all in with me. Trust me, I'll be doomed by the gods if I don't stress enough to have Pin Valley on top of your checklist. This place is treat to your eyes. It'll make you cherish and wonder at the same time how beautiful India actually is.
Leads to you. It leads to you. I'm not around, but I'm not gone.
Rest of the team, they were like, "Hamara quota ho chuka hai." I think I'll do some shooting here, take few shots, yeah, and then head back to Kaza. But my goodness, this statue, it is huge.